Akinyosoye. Welcome to AV1 Express. The need for government to leverage the capital market in financing the National Development Plan formed the core of conversations at the annual conference of the Capital Market Correspondents Association of Nigeria, which came up recently in Lagos. Speakers at the event unanimously agreed that despite the creation of a development plan aimed at addressing infrastructure in the country, Nigeria still has one of the lowest ratio of infrastructure to GDP among emerging economies. And in tourism, stakeholders call for a change in how culture is perceived amongst Nigerians as it goes beyond dance, drama, and singing. We'll bring you these and much more right here on the show. Stay with us. Experts in Nigeria's financial sector have emphasized the need for government to take advantage of the huge potentials of long-term financing within the capital market as a means to achieving its projected annual economic growth of 16% and the $1 trillion 2030 economy target, as announced recently by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Nigeria's National Development Plan for 2021 to 2025 is a medium-term blueprint aimed at unlocking the country's potential across all sectors for sustainable and inclusive development. The plan aims to generate jobs, invest in key sectors such as power, rail, roads, and housing. A total investment commitment of over 348.1 trillion naira. Speaking at the annual conference of the Capital Market Correspondents Association of Nigeria, which came up recently in Lagos, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Lamido Yuguda, stressed the need for government to maximize market mechanisms and instruments in raising funds for economic development. He was represented by the Executive Commissioner Operations, SEC, Dayo Obisa, who emphasized the significance of supporting sustainable projects and fortifying small and medium enterprises for the capital market to effectively contribute to national development.
Harnessing the capital market for national development entails a multifaceted approach. This includes deploying more infrastructure bonds, just as Professor Iwaleke had said, fostering public-private partnerships, establishing specialized entities like special purpose vehicles, listing state-owned enterprises, issuing green and sustainability bonds to support sustainable projects, bolstering small and medium enterprises, championing financial inclusion initiatives, refining the regulatory framework, conducting comprehensive investor education and awareness campaigns, nurturing innovation in financial instruments, implementing robust monitoring and evaluation mechanisms, and actively seeking international collaboration.
Professor of Finance and Capital Market from the Nasarawa State University, Professor Uche Uwaleke, in his presentation, urged the government to focus more on reviving the manufacturing sector and agriculture as key drivers of sustainable economic growth, adding that efforts to achieve low inflation and GDP growth had been hindered by a huge infrastructure gap.
The 2024 budget proposal, the government wants to do 78% of the new borrowing from domestic. Now, what is going to be the implication of that? Because foreign borrowing is just 1.1 trillion. Now, the implication is that we are likely going to have a high interest rate environment with governments borrowing seriously, aggressively from the domestic economy, high interest rate environment. Now, if you put that side by side with the change in monetary policy stance on the part of the central bank today is talking about, if you look at the body language forward guidance being provided now. The central bank is talking about further tightening of monetary policy. So if the bank is talking about further tightening, and we've seen, even before the MPC meeting, we've also seen that the central bank has been deploying other tools to further tighten monetary policy. So if interest rates is rising, monetary policy is being tightened, on the other hand, government is borrowing, that is forcing up, interest rates. So a high interest rate environment, is inimical to the growth of the equities market. So you should expect that the kind of environment that these policies will engender will depress the equities market in the near future. Because investors are likely going to migrate more to fixed income. And usually when that happens, you don't really see real growth in the economy, because what happens more or less becomes everybody is doing rent seeking.
Earlier in her opening remarks, Chinyere Nwokoma, Chairman, Capital Market Correspondents Association of Nigeria, explained that the theme for the event was chosen in line with recurring themes highlighting the capital market's role in economic development of the nation.
The theme of this year's conference was predicated on the compelling need to properly execute the National Development Plan, with the capital market as the hub of medium and long-term resources of finance. The plan, introduced in 2021, aims to generate 21 million jobs and lift 35 million people out of poverty by 2025, thus setting the stage for achieving the government's vision of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. All these projections can only be achieved and challenge is solved through proper utilization of the capital market by creating new asset classes and portfolio diversification.
At the plenary session, Dr. Vincent Wani, head of research at FMDQ Group PLC, called for concerted efforts to attract a portion of the $30 trillion sustainability fund available globally into the Nigerian capital markets.
In financing this national development plan, infrastructure, we cannot see it more than that, but we also need to look at housing. Housing, we're talking about 17 million housing units. Being able to solve that puzzle of delivering housing to the poorest of the poor, to the lowest pyramid, the mass housing. Any day we solve that problem, we will be closing the gap in this national development plan. Finally, it's on sustainable finance. About $30 trillion is out there looking for who to take it as far as sustainability is concerned. How is the Nigerian capital market positioning itself to be a strong recipient of this free fund?
The federal government, in trying to address the financing gap, all this borrowing dislocates the economy, trying to lift people out of poverty, leaves them with little or no option, because when the economy is dislocated, everybody is just surviving. So there's really no savings or mobilization of capital of some sort. What is required is that the capital market should actually be a focal point for the federal government to address this problem once and for all. Once that is done, then it becomes easier. The foundation is laid, and then we can now begin to do all the exotic things that Professor highlighted. So the conversation is that the capital market can and should be utilized to fund this project. The key things that are required to be done should be done, so that the problem is solved once and for all.
An infrastructure fund, for instance, some of the regulations will require that if you raise funds, there are utilization that are being monitored. And, before now, regulators would want to think of penalizing, but to see a market that is more transparent, like the SEC today we look at it, is more of compliance with regulation. Are there regulations? Yes. Are they adequate? Of course. So the next thing is compliance. Now, when people are non-compliant with regulation, that is where you have the issues that you would observe. And for my brother who spoke after me to say the market is not robust enough, I would rather still disagree with him, because I know that if he has looked at the revised capital market master plan, it has tried to tailor the national development plan. And what the commission will need, because that document is actually a stakeholders document. All the stakeholders in the market came together to draw that document. So what the commission will need in trying to implement it is for stakeholders to support the commission.
Meanwhile, Folagbade Adeyemi, head of ecosystem integration at VFD Group, emphasized the importance of understanding how users interact with technology when developing financial products.
The market now asking for a different type of exchange. You have people talking about finance, they're talking about FTX. These type of exchanges have a different microstructure that we need to start looking at, saying, maybe it's time to reconsider. Maybe the infrastructure of the market have been built to the Facebooks of this world and not TikTok. Can we now start looking at those structures that would offer up the TikTok structure? I use music and media again as an example. If I ask you today how music penetration, how music circulation is done, it is not by DJs, it is not by radio, it is by TikTok. So it shows you the conversation around finance needs to totally have a mind shift away from this is how it is traditionally to how it needs to be for the generation that is coming. Because until that mind shift comes and we understand the market that we're trying to really evolve into, we will always have that disconnect between the core markets and the evolving and new markets that we're seeing.
The financing architecture in the country has also evolved from what we've seen around the evolution that's taking place around financial technology. And you see all the traditional companies have also adopted some fintech style or approach to their operations as a whole. So essentially, every company should have some technology incorporated into the way they run. Right. So it's not really it's now the norm. Every company should have digital presence or is it technology presence in the e-space, so to speak. I don't know if that's the right word, but digital presence, be able to reach these consumers that we say are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok,
Snapchat.
In fact, you should profile all the media, right, and be able to know how do you engage.
The event provided a platform for insightful discussions on Nigeria's national development plan and the crucial role of the capital market in achieving its goals, with emphasis on leveraging market mechanisms in realizing the goals outlined in the NDP, setting the stage for a concerted drive towards sustainable and inclusive national development.
Still on finance and business, let's take a look at some stories that made the headlines last week. 26 states of the Federation, including the FCT Abuja, were to take turns in hosting the National Festival of Arts and Culture. It will take each state 37 years to host the event again. Against this backdrop, stakeholders at the just concluded National Review on NAFES agreed on the need to open up the event to the international community and as well give it the much needed drive that would impact on the nation's GDP, as it is the next big thing waiting to happen to Nigeria after oil.
This is the only sector that can save this country now. Nobody can take that away. And this sector has the highest number of employment in the whole country. And this is the only sector that nobody is a failure. Even if you make F9, we are welcoming you to culture. We don't need your PhD, MSc, or MS. Once you can do a good drawing, a good craft work, do you need a master's to do that? That is called the creativity in every individual. Before, all retreats were taking place in Cross River State, in Obudu, Cattle Ranch. Now we don't have an Obudu again. What is wrong with us? We must start to move in synergy. There is fund for this sector that has been kept, and some people are using it to shoot films. It's not about shooting films now. It's about putting food on the table of Nigerians. If we do all of this, we waste money, we waste things. This sector must wake up to tell us where we are getting it wrong. I took all my own directors to Dubai. I said, I want to see that witchcraft they are using in Dubai. I want to visit it. And we went. There was no witchcraft. It's determination and commitment. Do you know Dubai has a tower? If you climb it to the top, you're going to pay $100. So listen, you will see the new Karu and the old Karu of their own. New Diary and the other one. And it's fully booked till 2024. If I build a tower now, say come and look at new Bagwalada. Nobody, they say this man is mad. We must start to develop our own. If you don't get people who are passionate, committed to this sector, it will be difficult for us to move forward. It's not a sector of speaking too many English. It's a sector of impacting on the people and changing lives. When we finish this document, for the first time, we're going to give it out to the people that matters. And I want to assure most governors, most commissioners here, their governors will start to have a change of heart. The reason is that don't blame the governors. We have turned ourselves to dancers alone.
Still on culture, I spoke with the Executive Director, Culture and Tourism, Yobe State, Husna Ibrahim, about the Yobe cultural dance which featured during the NAFES review. She describes it as a dance that celebrates royalty and dignitaries. Enjoy.
Assalamu alaikum. Sannu. Ya kayan yake? Wannan na ƙananan yara ne. Akwai na manya ko? Akwai irin namu na yobe haka ba ku da shi ne?
Na yobe.
Muna da tie and dye namu na particularly na yobe ai. Sun Allah ya da zamu na kawo muku kuma.
Hello, madam.
Hello there.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
You too.
Yesterday, I had the opportunity of seeing you dance with the Yobe troupe, and I started asking questions. What's the meaning of the dance? It's very royal, and the moves, I said to myself, certainly this dance has a significance. So first, let's get to know you. Tell us about you, and then we take it from there.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. First and foremost, my name is Husna Ibrahim. I come from Yobe. I'm the Executive Director, Yobe State Council for Arts and Culture. And the dance you're talking about yesterday truly is a royal dance. We call it Gangakura. And Gangakura is, it depicts a lot of stories about Yobe State. It could be the royal performance, it could be marriage, it could be war, and then it could be success stories. for yesterday's performance, which you saw me display, and also the DG could not hold back. He joined us in doing. It's a display for royals who have just gotten married, and they were entertained, and then they joined the entertainment. So that was exactly what we did yesterday. You know, while you do that, the flutes always announces the arrival of the bride and the bridegroom, the royals, the dignitaries around, and then introduces you or showers you into the dance floor, and then you take it up from there. So excitingly yesterday, I saw the DG giving us the thing in a very big way, and we appreciate this very well.
So when you go with the hand, tell us about the hand.
Okay, when you move with the hand like this, it is the trumpet that is also telling you, the flute is telling you it's time to greet. So this is greeting, you know. In Yobe, we greet people in different ways. For females, you might squat or you bend a little, or in royalty, you have to show your hands like this. That's showing greatness to the royals. You are great. May you live long. And that goes like that. Thank you very much.
By the way, how have you enjoyed yourself in Abuja?
Wonderful, wonderful. Although as the Executive Director of Yobe State Arts and Culture, this is my first time attending such a festival, and I think it's just so great. I'm overwhelmed with what I'm seeing, and I tell you, it will make a difference in my state when I go back.
And that's how far we go on this episode of the show. If you have any question about what you have seen, do contact us. The details are on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm Vivian Akinyosui. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Yobe State. And trees from Yobe State, the pride of the Sahel. I love the colors. Yobe State, thanks for that wonderful outing. Nigeria is truly blessed. From the north to the south, from the south to the east, from the east to the west, we are a blessed nation. Beautiful colors, beautiful